Hello, Libra. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a reading for the end of September 2025, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Four of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like this is someone who is focusing on foundations, focusing on water, shelter, food, and fire. You know, the basic needs, getting our habits in order, getting our physical strength kind of back to a baseline. Kind of feels like there's almost like a recovery after a workout kind of vibe going on, yeah? I feel like this is you focusing on balancing your energy, balancing your budget, balancing your energy budget, and kind of knowing where your resources are going, okay? It might be a time for you to save up some money, okay? You could have some particular goals or even some expenses that you know are coming up. Spirit's kind of saying, start saving for those things now, okay? Start paying more attention to the basic needs in your life, those needs of your body, your heart, your mind, your soul, okay? This is somebody who has a pretty good routine in life set up already, you know, and realizing that the routines that you have in life are the foundation. The way you set up whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, whatever your wishes and hopes are, you're going to accomplish them faster and in a more meaningful way if you pay attention to the little things. You know, it's not about these big tasks that we have and these huge goals. It's kind of like, it's, you know, how you wake up in the morning. It's, you know, like it's how you talk to yourself. It's how you set up your desk when you get ready to work. It's all about the technique and those little small habits, the little drops in the bucket that are really going to make the big win, okay? So this is kind of like your daily routine. Your daily routine, that's where the magic happens, you know? And so you can't build the palace without the foundation, and you can't reach all of your goals and dreams without having that routine, that foundation, like, you know, wake up at a certain time in the morning, go to bed at a certain time, you know, and pay attention to the habits and the routines of your life, all right? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what's going on for you. We have a 10 of Swords. We have an Emperor. We have a Hanged Man, yeah. We have a Sun card. We have a 3 of Cups. Beautiful. We have a Strength card, Lust, Fortitude, 2 of Wands. We got a Prince of Pentacles, and we've got a Devil card. Wow. A lot of fire, a lot of earth cards, right? Fire, earth, you know, and even the sun is fire. We have Aries, we have Leo, we have Capricorn energy here, okay? So really a lot of progress going to be made, and whatever your goals are, whatever you got going on in life right now, you're going to start making much more progress. And it's through those routines. It's through that steady effort. It's not saying that there's some big unexpected, you know, gift coming your way or some kind of a, you know, some kind of a divine intervention. It's kind of saying it's your iron routine, day after day, the drops in the bucket is going to lead to such beautiful things for you. And I do feel like something is coming to a conclusion. There's some kind of either a milestone or there's some kind of a goal that you're reaching. I feel like you have these long-term goals for your life, and then you've got the short-term goals. You build the long-term life. You build your big rock candy mountain, your paradise, one brick at a time. You know, you're building your emerald city with every step you take. Now let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with the 8 of Pentacles right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below the video. Now let's look around the room. We see major, 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 and major. This is fire, this is earth. Okay, so that's that manifestation. Fire and earth is the spiritual electrical circuit of creation. Okay, it's your will, it's your intention, it's your idea, your inspiration, it's your power, right? It's your magic. Making something happen in the world. This is you with that fire, and this is you reaching those goals. Okay, this is the behavior, this is the reward, this is the manifestation, this is the implementation, this is the action that's coming from this will. So you are a magic maker. Okay, you got that fire to earth, and even in the small cards here with the court and the Prince of Pentacles and the Two of Wands, you have fire and earth, yeah? It really is about how you're directing your fire in this very disciplined way. I feel like you're moving into a period where, you know, at least for the next couple of weeks till the end of September, I feel like it's all about sticking with the routine, sticking with your program, sticking with the regimen of your life. It's really going to lead to bliss, celebration, okay? Anyway, you got your 10 of Swords here. 10 of Swords is generally an ending. Generally, this is a card of getting out of a birdcage. I feel like some of you are going to experience the ending of something, the ending of a relationship, the ending of a, you know, kind of like you got to the bottom of the list. You know, you got to the end of some particular time frame or something, right? Something's kind of run its course, and I feel that this is now, you're moving beyond something, okay? So it could be that you've outgrown something in your life, and you're realizing that that's something that then kind of naturally has to fall away. The 10 of Swords, yeah, it is an ending, okay? Very much so. But it usually is a very happy, good ending. Like we're happy that the thing ended, you know? I almost got myself in trouble there. We're happy that something is no longer part of our life. We got out of something that was holding us back, okay? So I feel that a lot of you are going to realize something in your life that has been preventing you from kind of maintaining your consistent effort, maintaining that rhythm of your life, you know, as you're building toward your goals. And you're going to be very, very happy, very relieved to get beyond it, to get outside of that, to get away from it. You're getting out of the birdcage, okay? This is a card that's saying there's something that is kind of pointless, you know? All the swords here have no points on them. So it could be that we're realizing that we've been putting our energy into something that has been like empty, you know? This is a dry and desiccated thing. This isn't nourishing to us anymore. So I feel like you're really, you might be cutting something out of your life, okay? You might, as you try to focus on those basic needs and that routine and that steady kind of consistent daily, effort, I think there's going to be the realization of things that are not helping you with that. As you try to be disciplined, you know, as you try to stay focused on your goals and take one day at a time and make each day a win, I think just very naturally, some things are going to stick out as being a waste, a pointless waste of time kind of thing. Okay, so I feel like a lot of you are going to be cutting things out of your life in an effort to really lock in and focus on that. You know, it's kind of like we got the nose to the grindstone type of energy. It's a real push to get something built, to maintain that discipline and to keep it going, okay? The 10 of Swords is telling me that something in your life right now is holding you back, is squeezing you, is restricting you. And it may be something that feels very comfortable. Think of the bird cage as something, well, they take care of your food for you. You kind of, in the bird cage, what happens? You get your basic needs met, right? What did we say about this? So there is this kind of idea that something is keeping you kind of comfortable. You got your bird seed, you got your little water bottle thing, you got the wood shavings at the bottom of the cage. You're pretty good to go, Someone comes along and gives you more bird seed and makes some funny faces at you every once in a while. It's relatively comfortable. But that's the problem, okay? So life outside of the bird cage is much scarier, but it's also one where you can spread your wings and you can fly, okay? So something in your life is acting as that bird cage for you, something that's maybe keeping you comfortable, okay? And it's not requiring you to have any discipline or you to have any kind of any growth or any strength or any development or any kind of even really like any will of your own, okay? It could be a relationship, it could be a person, a place, it could be a thing, it could be a belief, okay? So that's going to be something to look out for in the next couple of weeks. We also have our Emperor energy, which is, it's part of this discipline, it's part of this hard-working it's almost a self-reliance that I'm feeling, and this is very simple. It is authority. It is you having a fortified ego. It is you training yourself to be strong, okay? I think you already are very, very strong. I think that you have, I think the life that you've led has made you a very strong person. This is your inner authority. This is you saying, wait a minute now, I don't want anybody to do anything for me. I can do it myself. So it's kind of like we're realizing that we kind of resent the bird cage a little bit. This is a card of that fortified ego, which does kind of say, I don't need help from anybody. Okay? So I think that, this is you taking ownership and taking responsibility for your life, knowing that you have to develop a plan and sort of stick to it, okay? The only swords card we have in the reading is your Ten of Swords. It kind of feels like the old plan, the old way of doing things, we've outgrown that now, okay? We've gotten too big for our britches, so to speak, and it's time for us now to construct something that is going to, that's going to help us to get further up the mountain, okay? Because it seems like you have a lot of a big goal right now. Like you have a lot of I don't know if it's ambition or a lot of creative will, okay? And I think that this is your ability to make decisions, to say no to things, to implement things, to structure your life in a way that works for you without too much regard for the opinions of other people, okay? And so this card is kind of saying like, take ownership and claim your sovereignty here. Don't let other people try to tell you what to do so much. I mean, this is an authority card, so we have to be careful here because we all have rules to follow. We all have a world that we have to exist within and try to live in harmony with, right? We don't want a lot of conflict. So this is you trying to figure out how to structure your life in a way that is most conducive to your goals. I think it's kind of like picking your battles or just avoiding battles altogether. Okay? I think it's almost, we're almost kind of, doing a little hermit mode energy. Okay? It seems like it. But this to me is, if we're looking at the birdcage context, it kind of feels that the Emperor is saying, I'm refusing to live inside of a birdcage now. I don't want things to be done for me. I want to do things, not necessarily the hard way, but I want to do them the right way. I want to do them in the way that actually makes me stronger and helps me grow and brings me, it's kind of like you'd rather take the stairs than the elevator. Okay? Sometimes you'd rather take the elevator. Maybe it's just like, I need to get there fast, or I've got a whole bunch of luggage with me, or like a bunch of, boxes. And maybe you're going to take the elevator, right? Otherwise, if you want to get there faster, or you have other type of goals, you're going to want to take the stairs. So it's not about doing something just because it's hard. It's doing the right thing in the context of, your situation. Okay? I think context is everything. In the birdcage, that's the wrong context. That's the easy context. That's where you don't have to do anything. That's where there is really everything's kind of done for you, right? So this, I think, is much more. I feel like there's a real physical energy in your life now, right? I feel like a lot of you are starting to do more physical things. Whether it's physically building, maybe your job is very physical, or you're starting more exercise routines, or you're starting to pay more attention to your body. Even the Emperor is fire and earth. It's all about that, having a will, having an intention, having an inspiration, and implementing it in the physical world. I feel like right now you're very inspired, okay? And whatever those goals are, I think it's about keeping that inspiration going, yeah? In the background, we have that Hanged Man. I feel like a lot of you were in a situation not too far back. You're in a situation where you did not have a lot of power. Okay. Again, looking at the birdcage situation, this is somebody who's in the birdcage. Okay, where there's no sovereignty here. There's no power. This is somebody who is has been disrobed. They're in a very vulnerable position. Okay, they've kind of been stripped of everything. And I feel like this is not something that you are willing to go back to or to kind of tolerate, okay? This, for some of you, this is also, I think, in the recent past, this is a period of vulnerability. I almost wonder if you're kind of recovering from an injury or an illness, or if there was like a health scare, or there was some kind of maybe it's even a chronic thing. Now, I'm not a doctor, obviously. I'm not diagnosing anything. This is something that if it's yours, you're already aware of it. And I think that this is kind of like, it was me after my transplant. I had a liver transplant about 15 years ago. And when that happened, oh yeah, I felt very vulnerable. I was in the hospital bed for a month. I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't go to the bathroom myself. I was really in the Hanged Man position, right? And that sort of sparked this Emperor in me, where it said, I got to start doing something about that. I got to start exercising. I got to start eating right. I've got to start really taking responsibility for how my life is going to go, okay? And since then, it's been up and down and up and down, you know what I mean? I think right now you're going into that period where it's just like, I don't want to be in a compromised position. I don't want to be helpless. I don't want to be reliant on other people. I don't want to be sick and tired, So I feel like you've made some changes. And I feel that this is not something that you want to return to. This is also a period generally of inactivity. Okay, we're taking these two cards together. This is a period of doing the spiritual work, doing the internal work, and then the Emperor now is kind of focused on, how am I going to take this spiritual work and this spiritual development, how am I going to take that and turn it into, building something in my life? Okay, so I feel like a lot of you are on a spiritual path, certainly, yeah. The sunshine up above the surface here, this is that health, this is that robustness, this is life at the top of the mountain. This is your goal. This is like, I think for a lot of you, your physical health and your vitality is that long-term goal that you're talking about, that we're sort of feeling here. This is a card of joy, this is a card of radiance and beauty and warmth, right? And sunshine, this is a card of energy. This is a card of feeling some stamina, feeling some kind of energy. And I think that this is what we are sort of like, this is what we're trying to become, especially when you're in the hanged man position. Now, interestingly, the Hanged Man with the sunshine, when I was in the hospital, the only thing I wanted to do was go outside and see the sun. Because I was in a hospital bed, and you can't tell really what time of day it is, okay? That's partly because of the medicine, partly because of the blinds and all the lights and everything, and it just seemed like it was it's very difficult to know what was going on outside. So it's like kind of that's your only goal, is like, I just want to get to the top of that mountain. I want to get to the sunshine. I want to feel the warmth on my bones. You know, I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to be successful. And so this could be financial goals for a lot of you, because we have a lot of earth energy here. So I feel like it's health, it's wealth, it's fitness, and it's finances, okay, mainly. I'm not seeing a lot of romance going on right now. I'm not seeing a lot to do with friendships and things like that, although there are 2 of you up here on the top of the mountain. And the 3 of Cups as the next card is a lot of celebration. And typically it's celebrating with other people. I feel like there is a big harvest coming in your life. And I think end of September into October is really the perfect time for that, you know. I think it's a natural time where we're going to start reaping what we've sown. And I think that you're understanding karma in a really deep way. You understand that all of your choices throughout your life have kind of brought you to where you are right now. And it's time for you to kind of make those conscious choices. We see a 2 of Wands over here. This is that harvest that's coming in very, very soon. I really think the next 2 or 3 weeks are going to see a lot more reasons to celebrate, okay? And I do think that you have people in your life that you are accountable to, or that you're kind of like, you got your accountability buddies, you know? Or if you are harvesting some abundance, or reaping some rewards, or experiencing some wins, I feel like there are people around you that are going to celebrate those wins with you. Okay, you know how sometimes when you're down, people will come around to try to like make you feel better. This card to me is about people who you're up. Okay, you're having a good day. You're having a success in your life, and people are going to come around to kind of like congratulate you, and really are going to be very, very happy for you. You know, some people in your life, when you're doing well, they don't really seem happy for you. They just seem neutral. They say, oh, that's good. But when you're down, they'll be right there to kind of lift you up, you know. And there's a reason why there's that dynamic with some people. But this card is about those people that will celebrate with you. They're there when you're down to help lift you up, sure. But they're there when you're winning, because they genuinely are happy about you winning. About, you know, earning something, reaching the goals, having the successes, having the harvest, you know. So this is the real authentic, this is like your inner circle of people, okay? And I think that it's very important that you identify and you recognize and you appreciate these people, okay? I feel like you're a person of quality over quantity, okay? I feel like this card really is about quality in everything that you're doing. You know, I feel that you're trying to you're focusing everything that you do in life, you're trying to do it well. It's not about how fast you can get through all your tasks. It's about having that sort of routine, developing the technique where the things you do are done right. The things that you do are done with quality and a depth to them, because you care about those things. And you want those things to take care of you, you know? So you're putting in the right kind of effort into things. It's not about just getting things done. It's about getting things done right. Yeah. Path of the Serpent. By the way, if you haven't subbed or hit the like button, please do. It's very helpful to the channel, and I really appreciate that. Okay. You have this Strength card as your general energy. It's a card of discipline. I think the cards are emphasizing structure, order, discipline, routine. Okay, for at least for the next couple of weeks, that this kind of fortification is going to lead to a lot of harvest, a lot of rewards for you. The discipline is going to lead to freedom. The discipline is going to lead to productivity and to success. Okay, whatever your goals are, whatever you're trying to do in life right now. So I think it's the recognition of things that you're going to be cutting away. Okay, the bird cages, maybe there's more than one that you need to get out of. And the discipline to not go back in when things start to get difficult. Life outside the bird cage is challenging. You know, it requires this kind of inner strength. I think a lot of you are a lot stronger than you realize, or maybe you realize it. I think you're starting to realize it, you know. And you're starting to take action. You're starting to say, I'm not going to put up with X, Y, and Z anymore. Not to single out X, Y, or Z. I love those letters, but there's certain things you're not going to put up with in life anymore. Okay? And I think that this is the courage, this is the strength, this is the discipline to uphold that kind of boundary in your life. I think a lot of you are establishing limits and boundaries, not only for other people, but with yourself too. There are certain things I'm not going to allow myself to do anymore. There are certain things that I am not going to tolerate coming into my life either. And I think right now is a pretty serious time in your life, okay? The Two of Wands is in your relationships and in the environment, and this is a card usually of conflict. Okay, this is a card, Mars in Aries, right? It really is. You got your Aries energy here as well. I would maybe watch the Aries reading if I were you. Aries, of course, is your opposite sign, so I feel like it makes sense that you're sort of invoking this sovereignty, and I think that this is you saying no to more people. Now, Libra, as you're kind of a very social sign, and you know, like the connections, and you like to sort of you like to accommodate everybody if you can. The Aries part of you now is kind of like that alter ego that's coming out and saying, I don't want anybody in my life that it's not necessary to be there right now. 'Cause I feel like you're doing something really serious. Maybe you're at the end of a particular road. Like I said, it feels like some of that Ten of Swords energy is you getting to the end of a particular project or a particular time frame. So it might be very critical right now for you to really focus nose to the grindstone. Okay, so you don't want any interference. You don't want anybody knocking on your door. This is a sign on your office that says closed. This is you know, the ice cream shop closed. The bank of Libra closed, right? This is you saying no and not feeling bad about saying no. Okay? Sometimes the Hanged Man says, like, we've said yes too much, you know? So some of you might really be enjoying saying no to things. You know, it's like even when, you know, you might, I really want some ice cream tonight. You know, you say no. I got to tell myself no. It's not just saying no to other people. It's saying no to ourselves about things out in the environment that we might want. I could sleep in an extra hour today. No, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get to work. Okay? And I feel like this is really going to benefit you tremendously. Not only are you building willpower and building discipline, but you're building some sort of success. You're building the harvest. You are going to be reaping the rewards of all of this hard work. This is hard-working energy right now, okay? We have the Builder, the Taurus energy in the position of the fear, worry, concern. And this is that nose to the grindstone. It's a fixed earth energy. It's staying disciplined. It is not deviating from the plan in any way, okay? Kind of like saying once you lock in, that's it. I mean, that's like now you're saying no before you even hear the question, okay? And so I think that we have to mention with this card the ability to be flexible. Okay, a fixed earth energy is basically saying, like, you're going to continue constructing the same thing. It's like you're out in the woodshed and you're making the birdhouse, you know, and you're just hammering birdhouse after birdhouse after birdhouse. You want some lunch? No, I'm building birdhouses. You want to take a nap? No, I'm building birdhouses. Okay. Maybe it's, you know, days and nights. The sun goes up, the sun comes down, and up, and days go by. You say, I'm building birdhouses, okay? Sometimes you might forget the self-care. Sometimes you might forget the rest and the relaxation and the restoration. You might forget to unwind, you know? So I think even discipline and restrictions and, you know, that kind of hard-working nose to the grindstone energy can be taken a little bit too far. Okay, so it's important to, I mean, this is a lot of fire and a lot of earth, okay? So you are locked in on these goals that you have. Just make sure that you don't overdo it. Just make sure that you don't have so much of the blinders on and that fixed energy and the nose to the grindstone energy that you fail to actually see the harvest when it comes in. Okay? You're busy building the birdhouses, but you forget to collect the payment. Okay? So just, make sure that this is a balanced and a very self-aware type of energy, okay? But it's the builder. You're constructing. You are building up your life, and it is through these daily efforts. Win after win after win, a successful day, okay? We even have here the sun in Capricorn. This is a Capricorn energy, and probably I'd watch the Capricorn reading too. The devil energy here at the end to me is the right proportion of the drives. We all have these psychological drives, our creative drive, our sovereign drive, and our emotional drive. Yeah. And to me, it feels like you have all of them fairly represented in the reading. Okay. Of course, we have I think here, the kind of sovereign drive over here. I think the devil itself is that creative drive. And then the pleasure drive, I think, maybe is the Hanged Man and the Three of Cups. The Hanged Man might be saying that there was a time where you overindulged in the good stuff of life, where, for me, maybe I have too much ice cream sometimes, and kind of now going to the opposite extreme where we're just being very strict with ourselves, right? I think that the truth needs to be somewhere in the middle. We don't need to go where we are so strict that we deny ourselves every kind of pleasure or satisfaction or any kind of reward. But we don't want to go the other way either, where we do nothing but, reap the rewards and taste the fruit of our labor. And then there's no labor, it's just fruit, right? So I think the balance is kind of, the balance is somewhere in between. But the creative drive, it's right now, I think a lot of you are working on goals that are outside of your ego. The ego is the one that's facilitating, right, those goals. The ego is the one that has the hands on the wheel and is driving the car. But where it's going and why it's going there is not just the ego's preference. You're creating something that is lasting. You're creating something that is meaningful. You're creating something that might be, it's beneficial to someone other than you. I think a lot of you are, right? It is either, even if it's physical health, well, that's beneficial to you, right? Yeah, of course. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to live longer and be healthier, happier. But it's also benefiting the people that care about you, the people in your life, and the rest of the world, because they get your contribution to the world for longer, right? And maybe in a more robust way or more productive or whatever. So I think the devil card is really about, us realizing why we're doing the things we're doing, what is motivating us. How is our work, how is all of this discipline and all of these, boundaries and stuff that we're talking about, how is that contributing to the larger world or to your family or to your friends or to your neighborhood? Is it contributing to anything outside of you? I think you'll find that, yes, it is, I think that the devil is kind of the engine of the car. And I think that what you're doing now, a lot of you, is you're tuning up that engine. You're realizing that, a consistent kind of, a consistent life, a routine, a disciplined and structured kind of flow to things is really going to maximize the output of your engine. Yeah. And I think that this is also the card of climbing the mountains. And I think that you're optimizing your life in such a way that you're getting to the top of the mountain faster. Okay? I think you're accomplishing your goals more quickly than you had in the past. I feel like things are picking up the pace for you. Let's look at our mystery card. Maybe this is going to be that big rock candy mountain that you're building, the Emerald City, the Empress card. What else might it be? If you have an idea, put it in the comments. I feel like it should be something rewarding. I feel like it should be a symbol of the goal itself, maybe. Yeah, so we could get a 10 of something. Pentacles, cups, or maybe a 6. Let's see what we have. We got the Hermit. Yeah, well, that makes total sense. Because you are going your own way, okay? You are minimizing distractions. You're wearing that cloak of invisibility, right? That is, avoiding any of the traps, avoiding any unnecessary, like, indulgence, okay? The Hermit is kind of like a little bit on the, austerity path. Not overindulging in things, and certainly is outside the birdcage, holding up their own lamp to the wilderness that's out here outside the birdcage. So has walked away from something that was limiting. So confirming our 10 of Cups, okay? And is kind of, you're finding your own way up the mountain, okay? So I think that this Hermit energy, like we said at the very beginning, it feels like there's a little bit of this Hermit energy going on for you, where it is just minimizing distractions, stepping away, saying no to things that are not part of this intense work you're doing, and staying focused on the path in front of you. Because things are and that's gonna help you to move faster, but still maintain that level of quality, all right? Now, we're going to do the extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra, Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you. I love you. And we're all in this together.